You want to know why there are many people that actually go out and create wealth, and then there's a whole bunch of people, even though they make a lot of money, they never get to create wealth? You know, I was so interested about that I decided to do some research way back when. And I get to tell you in this video, check it out. Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Frank Quiñiguez. I am the ambassador of reading, and I am super excited for this video. I know I always say that. However, this one, it seems to me that this audience is interested in all the topics that I have. I talk about family, I talk about health, I talk about wealth, and today we get to talk about money, which is wealth. And let me tell you how it started. You know, there's a lot of people that actually create wealth when they started out with zero, with nothing. It's just an average Joe, quotes, and then they end up creating wealth. And I'm going to tell you about two books. One of them that talks about a research about people that become millionaires anywhere between 1 million and 10 million in a lifetime. And it's two doctors, and they prove it. They go, anybody that wants it can do it. But let me tell you how it all starts. Why there are people that create wealth and people that don't create wealth, even though they make a lot of money. It starts with programming. You know, when children are small, the programming starts, and it's to all the retail stores, anybody that sells anything, it's to their advantage to constantly start programming children. So how does it look? You want the toy from X store, or you want a certain gift for Christmas, or certain type of shoes or clothing or jacket, and they get bombarded through the TV and now through the phone. They're watching it, and there's ads, and they're being programmed to constantly spend. And you know, you might think, oh, well, they're only children. How bad can it get? Well, that child's gonna grow, and eventually that child becomes you or me, and here we are. And we have been programmed since we were little kids to keep up with the toy that the neighbor has or that your friend has. And there's the problem right there. We start talking about appearance, about looking good, about keeping up with the Joneses. They have it, I want it. They got it, I'm gonna get it. So it starts with programming. So appearance, and that causes a lot of trouble for a lot of people. If somebody's wearing the shoes, well, now you want the shoes. If somebody's driving the car, now you want the car. If somebody gets a big house, you want a big house. I've seen people that buy a house next to each other, and this one decides to change the windows, and guess what this one decides to do? Change the windows. Maybe there was no reason for it other than, hey, let's keep up with the Joneses. So it's appearance and then competition, and it descends you to lose out on making your money grow. Now, let me tell you, have you ever heard of a guy named Robert Kiyosaki? Robert Kiyosaki has a beautiful book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I love it. When I started learning about finances and how to make money, create residual income, I was so excited when I read his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There's a story, and I don't know if it's in this book or one of his other books. He's got a few books where him and his wife started growing their finances, and they got to a point, I'm pretty sure from what I read, is that they can walk into any dealership and say, I want that car, and be able to pull out and maybe even paid in full. So there's a story in the book where she says, hey, Robert, I'd like to get a new Mercedes. And he smiles and he says, yeah, well, let's go get it. But first, go create the wealth that's going to pay for that car, so that way you don't have to pay for it. And she says, okay, very well. And the story says that she bought a set of apartments, and they closed the deals, they started producing, they went to the dealership. She's no longer paying for the car. The tenants are. So that's creating wealth. Now, the second book, the one that I started talking about in the beginning, it's written by two doctors. It's called, their names are Dr. Stanley and Dr. Danko. And they wrote a book called The Millionaire Next Door. And when I started paying attention to what Robert Kiyosaki was saying and what these two doctors were saying, it all made sense to me. There's a lot of people that want to look the part, but they're not the part. You go and see their house, and you look at their car, and you look at their clothing and their jewelry and their vacations. And if you were to look at their monthly statement, where they're at with their money, they're probably being able to breathe at the end of the month. It's like, okay, I can go to the next month. And if anything goes wrong with their finances, there goes everything. Because they wanna look the part, but they're not the part. And then there are those people that are truly wealthy. They don't need to look the part, but guess what? They are the part. They walk around with a smile on their face. They don't have no worries. They take the family vacation. They come back. Everything's cool. Why? Because they were able to create wealth for themselves. And this is what this video is about. Let me tell you a story. You know I love stories. One time I'm hanging out with one of my compadres, which is, well, I'm not even going to explain. I look up the word compadre. And he says, hey, you want to go and collect some rent with me? And I said, yeah, let's go. And so when we get there to the apartment and we get off I think he had a Jeep. He said, no big deal. We show up and he approaches the guy, and the guy's washing this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous truck with a stereo that had speakers that were so loud and the rims looked so shiny and so beautiful. And me staying from the side and I'm looking at those two individuals, I'm thinking, man, if I didn't know any better, I would say the guy with the truck owns the apartments, but it wasn't like that. It was my friend that owned the apartments collecting the rent from the guy that appears to be rich, but is not rich. He's living in an apartment. He's got a big truck that barely fits into the garage, but hey, he's pretending. He wants to pretend he saw that, but he's not. And I did approach him and I said, man, nice music. And he goes, yeah, man, I just bought the stereo. It was about $1,800. And I'm thinking, $1,800 for a stereo? I could only imagine what he paid for the tires and the rims. And that's where people go wrong. Instead of growing their assets, they spend them. A lot of people spend money that they're going to make in the future. That's called credit. And what I learned along the way, that when I spend my money, for the most part, I spend money that I already have. I don't spend future money. If I spend future money, that means I'm going to lose out. I'm going to be paying more than what I'm spending. So no, I'm not going to do it. For the most part, we don't do it anymore. And anymore, because you're saying, wait a minute, did he say anymore? Yeah, I did say anymore, because I do have a credit card. And when I do my flights and I go travel anywhere and I stay at hotels and different stuff, I use my credit card. I come back home and both my wife and I have learned that when we get back home, go to the bank, pull out the money, pay it off, and we're done. So I do use credit to my benefit. At this time, I want to say thank you to my wife, because when I started learning about creating assets, I told her, look, we both read both books. We've read many books together, but we both read both books. And I told her, look, let's go out and create our assets, and let's do like Robert Kiyosaki's wife did. Let's go create an asset that can pay for the cars, that can pay for the trips, that can pay for our kids' schooling. Let's go create it. And she was with me 100%. We were able to retire at the age of 40 from my permanent positions as teachers. We kept our jobs as substitute teachers. It's a whole story, but there's a reason to why we did that, and it turned out beautiful. It turned out great. I'm gonna recommend that you pay attention to creating assets. It's a powerful, powerful word. Robert Kiyosaki uses it. It's something that got stuck in my head, and the word is asset. And what's the other one? Residual. Assets and liabilities. Liabilities take money from your pocket. Assets bring money into your pocket. And man, it's so cool that you get to work really hard to create the asset. But once you create it, it's constant money. And speaking of which, I have a video that's called Constant Money. Go check it out. That's how I got started, more or less. And then it grew and it grew and it grew. And then I have another one called Money, Money, Money. I have a video that's very popular called How to Pay Off Your House in 10 Years or Less. All those have to do with wealth. And though I speak on different topics, we've noticed as a team right here that you guys, our viewers, our subscribers, enjoy topics on money and health and families. So remember, it all starts with programming. And believe it or not, you've been programmed. I've been programmed. The whole world gets programmed. And you must be in awareness of what programs are in there. And you have to make up a choice. Do I want to create wealth, or do I not want to create wealth? Do I want to create assets or liabilities? And for the most part, poor people or even middle-class people, they get liabilities rather than assets. And in order for you to change places to go into the creating wealth, you must not purchase too many liabilities. You could buy one or two, but being awareness and then create assets. That's what's going to get you out into the next level of creating your wealth. Well, remember, it starts with programming, and don't pretend to be the part, be the part. Listen, when I was younger, we used to go out and dance, and I could see the young guys trying to pretend to be the part, and it would look so, like when I was growing up, I mean, it impressed me. Imagine it impressed me. They take out a card and they go, put it on my tab. And sure, get a drink for that one, and I'll get a drink for me. And hey, you bartender, I'll even give you a drink. Nothing's coming out of their pocket, so it's cool. So they're pretending to be something that they're not. So, and then it goes into competition. If they have it, I want it. If they do it, I want to do it. And that's going to create decay in your wealth. It's not going to take you up. It's going to take you down. So appearance, pretending to be, will not allow you to grow. In the book, The Millionaire Next Door, Dr. Stanley and Denko, they said that people that do create anywhere between 1 and 10 million in their lifetime, and they do 1 to 10 million because their point that they prove is that anybody that wants to do it can do it. Usually people that create that wealth, they're not driving the Mercedes-Benz, they're not driving the BMW year after year brand new, no. It turns out they drive Fords, F-250s or F-150s, and they don't wear the clothing, they don't buy the Rolex, they don't pretend to drink expensive liquor or any of that. In the interview, they even asked one of the millionaires, and sir, what's your favorite beer? And he goes, well, my favorite beer is free beer, and I don't know what kind of beer he said. But look, in other words, they don't pretend to be drinking the best kind of wine or the best kind of beer or liquor or any kind. No, they're focused. So take it for yourself. Stay focused. If you want to create wealth, you have to stay focused. And don't pretend to be the part, be the part. So we're going to leave it at that. Till next time, your friend, the ambassador of reading, Frank Quiniguez, wishing you well today and always, knowing that you will find and get what you are looking for. Thank you for watching our channel, and congratulations for making it here, where we give information that benefits the individual that's watching and their loved ones. I invite you to subscribe and be part of our channel, set the notifications, and watch the new videos. Thank you and welcome.